Hi friend, I just wanted to take a minute to invite you to our Lash Biz Babes Experience 2026. This is a one-day all online event happening on May 2nd, and our theme for the year is going all in. We are shaking things up and doing it differently than anyone ever has before. This is going to be an all online event as usual, but it's going to be 100% a curated journey throughout your day as we guide you through the mindset, strategy, and passion needed to go all in on your business to make it your best year in business yet. All lash artists, estheticians, and beauty professionals are invited to join us. There will be guided sessions, interactive workshops, a panel discussion, and big giveaways happening throughout that whole day. And tickets are on sale now for only $199. Payment plans are available. Let's go all in on our businesses for 2026 together. All the details and the link for tickets are down in the show notes below. I would love to have you join us online in May.
Welcome to this week's episode of Lash Biz Babes, a podcast for solo beauty business owners who want to build a full clientele and create a business and life that they truly love. My name is Erica. I'm your host. I'm a lash artist turned beauty business coach and lash educator. And today is our final episode of 2023. Wow, what a year it has been. I cannot believe it's the end of the year. I feel like I've been saying that all year. Like, I can't believe it's whatever month it is. Like, it has gone by in the blink of an eye for me, even though it has felt like a very long year at the same time. Just because it has been such a crazy year. But yeah, last year in 2022, I did like a wrap-up episode and talked about some lessons that I learned throughout the year in business and in life. And you guys ate that up. You loved it so much. It's one of the top 5 downloaded episodes for Lash Biz Babes. So I thought, oh, let's do it again. Let's do a wrap-up episode for 2023. I'm going to talk about some of the lessons that I learned this year, which is so hard to narrow down and decide like what to talk about, because this was such a big year for me as far as growing goes. It was a growth year. It was a learning year. It was a lot. There was so much that happened, and I feel like a lot of you can probably relate to that, in the fact that it was a crazy year for a lot of people. So much happened, so much changed. There was a lot of hardship for a lot of people and just a lot going on. So for me particularly, I had a baby this year. We moved out of state this year. I hosted my very first online lash conference, beauty conference, which was a lot that I learned within that in itself. We lived in our camper this year. We've had so many ups and downs. December was absolutely wild for us. I just feel like there was just so much happening. So I started jotting down just like a list of some general things that I learned. And I feel like I don't have all the time in the world to like go in depth on all of these, but I kind of wanted to do like a rapid fire episode of just like different things that I've learned this year and like the biggest takeaways from them, and just kind of like, I don't know, rapid fire a bunch of them at you. So it's gonna be a good episode. I've got a lot for you. It's gonna be packed full of some good things. So for starters, like I said, I had a baby this year back in January. I actually had him the day before my birthday. So it was a really weird and different birthday for me this year. And like, I love my birthday. I love being able to celebrate people, and the whole day is about them, and like you just get to celebrate the people that you love. And I think that that's so special. I love birthdays. I love going all out for them. And so on my birthday this year, obviously it was a little bit different in the fact like we were in the hospital, I was like healing, but it was super special and a lot of fun. I learned a lot of lessons from just giving birth that could be applicable to life and business in general. But I think the two, I guess really three, that stand out the most for me from that experience are listening to your body and slowing down when you need to. Just this in general with pregnancy and lashing and business, like you have to slow down when your body is telling you to, because otherwise like things will happen that will cause you to slow down. I think I actually did a whole episode on this, but slowing down when you need to. um, and building trust in yourself and really trusting yourself to make decisions and to act on what you say you're going to do, follow through on your word, and just really building that trust with yourself. I feel like, oh my gosh, this year was such a huge year for that for me, of just really learning to trust myself and to know that I'm going to be okay no matter what happens, and that I know who I am. I trust myself to do the things I say I'm going to do. And I trust myself in the sense of I trust myself so much that I know my intuition. Like, I've learned to be able to recognize my intuition better because of it. And that has helped me make so many big decisions this year and changes and do just so much. And I'm really thankful for that. So just really do what you say you're going to do, work on and be intentional with building trust with yourself. And then along with that is trusting your intuition. And because when I was giving birth, my second birth, so I have 3 kids. My second birth, my daughter's birth, it was pretty scary, and at the time I considered it, and I still really could look back and do consider it like one of the more traumatic experiences of my life because it was so scary and I didn't know what was gonna happen. And I was so scared when I got found out I was pregnant again. It was a kind of a surprise. We weren't planning it. It just happened. And we were like, well, at least I was like, "Oh shit." Like I was nervous because my previous birth had been so scary. And so like this experience of getting pregnant unexpectedly and then giving birth again, it was really healing in the sense of like listening to my intuition this time. Like I felt like I did that before, but like making decisions during the birthing process. If you're a mom, you understand what I mean. If you're not, then that's okay too. But with birth, there's just a lot of big decisions to make. Um and I feel like some of those are harder too because I mean, not all of us are like have, medical background. Like I've never been in medical school. The things that I know about birth are from my own experiences and from things that I've learned over the years and researched and, educated myself about. But you're making all these big decisions and and they're like big decisions because it's going to affect you and your body and your baby and their body and like the health and safety of everybody. And it's like a big deal, right? And so having that trust in your intuition and really listening, I kind of like listening to your body again too, and just understanding yourself in the way of, what do I need right now? How can that be supported right now? And just trusting your intuition to help you through the process. Because I feel like that experience with birth this time of just being like, okay, you know what? Like, like one of the examples of this, um, usually they'll, when you go in to be induced, which I was induced this time, they like break your water like artificially during the process. And I had told them like, "No, I don't want my water broken," because that was something that had caused issues for with the previous time I was induced. And so I was like, "No," like really like making that decision for myself and, being empowered in that. And I feel like that can be the same thing in business too, where you're like, "Okay, um, I'm gonna listen to my intuition on this. Maybe it's not traditional, maybe it's not what everybody else does, but this is what I'm gonna do, and I feel empowered in that. I feel, I've educated myself. I'm yeah, making this decision for me, and I'm trusting my intuition that this is the correct path for me. And then being okay with changing your mind as you go. And like that's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. That's all right too. So that was another lesson that I learned. And then a few more, slowing down and enjoying the little things in life. It's not just about hitting your goals, it's also about enjoying the journey along the way. We're entrepreneurs. We're gonna like we're always gonna be trying to learn and grow, right? We're always gonna be working towards a new goal. Like I feel like it's that TikTok trend, like we're entrepreneurs. We're always working on something. We're entrepreneurs. We never are okay with, settling for less or, like being stagnant, I guess you could say. But I feel like it's okay to slow down and enjoy the little things in life while you go. Like, you might not be where you want to be yet, but you are learning things in the process that are going to help you get there. you are having enjoyable moments. You can still enjoy your life outside of life and outside of business, outside of life. You can still enjoy your life outside of life. You can still enjoy your life outside of business while you're learning and growing, and that's okay. And that kind of goes along with the next thing of just you're allowed to be a work in progress and be really good at what you do at the same time. Like I've heard this said, like you're allowed to be progress and perfection all in one being, and that it's okay to still be working on yourself and enjoying and being satisfied with where you're at as well. The next one, give yourself grace, and then give yourself grace again and again and again, because you are doing a good job and you are doing the best that you can with what you know at the moment. And this is just such a big thing for me this year. Like, I just had to give myself so much grace because, as a mom and as a business owner, like, there's so much to do. And if you're a mom, I know you can relate to that. You have so much on your plate. And I just feel like there's points where you realize that not everything on your to-do list is going to get done today, and that's okay. Like, I have been someone who's beat myself up over that before and still do sometimes, or like feeling the mom guilt at the end of the day and be like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, like I'm never gonna be enough, like, am I cut out for this? Like, I've had those moments, and I'm sure you have too, where you're just, like, questioning everything, and you're like, "Am I even good at this?" But just, like, give yourself that grace because it's not always going to get done. Like, I feel like we hold ourselves to such high levels of expectation sometimes, and, like, getting through that and enjoying the journey along the way, in my opinion, is about giving yourself grace and being okay that not everything's gonna get done all the time. Maybe your business has a lot of things to do, but you got to spend a lot of time with your kids and be present with them. Maybe, your house isn't that clean, but your business is doing well and your kids are well taken care of and they're loved and you've been present with them, and that's okay. Like, I think this year has just been an eye opener for me. I've lost loved ones this year. Like, I've had loss in the past before, but in the last year, I've lost two previous lash clients and my grandpa. And just it's just a stark reminder to me every single time that life is so short, and at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. Like, there are big things that will matter, but there are a lot of little things that we beat ourselves up about and that we give ourselves such a hard time about that are not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, did the laundry get done? Nope. Like, did you pass the test? Like, nope. Okay. Like that, you know, in the moment, it seems like these big life or death things are like, it's such a big deal and we're making it out to be this big, huge thing, but it's like, it's going to be okay either way. And that's something I've been telling myself a lot lately because, like I said, December's been wild. Like, my grandpa died. I watched my husband and my daughter get hit in a car accident, get T-boned. Like I was behind them and watched the whole thing. So, and oh gosh, crazy. There was threats at my son's school. They had to evacuate. It just so much going on. And I feel like I've just had to regulate my nervous system so much. And like, this is gonna be okay. Like, take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. Like, no matter how this turns out, we're all gonna be okay, and, like, you're gonna be okay. And, I was really fortunate in the fact that, like, in these instances, my family was safe and, like, we were okay. We weren't hurt. They weren't hurt. They weren't injured. I feel like it would be a different conversation had there been that. But then because of those situations, I'm stressed about, insurance and dealing with all, with that and dealing with the school and doing all these things. And it's just like, okay, Erica, you got this. Like, it's gonna be okay. It doesn't matter how this turns out. Like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be something that you look back on and maybe not laugh about, but like, you're like this car accident. Yeah, it's a big deal in the moment. And there's like a lot of things we're having to sort out with it now. But like, it's something that at the end of my life, okay, that happened. We're not gonna sit there and dwell on it forever. Like, I don't know. that's just something for me, that's something I've been learning a lot. It's gonna be okay either way. You're safe. It's okay. Like, yeah. Or like, you get a bad review, or things happen in our businesses where we're just like, oh my gosh, like it's taking up all of our energy, it's taking up all of our time, we're pouring so much into it, and it's just like, is this something that's really going to matter in 5 years, in 10 years, or even in 6 months? And if the answer is no, like, take a breath, figure it out, do what you need to do, but also like remind yourself that you're gonna get through it, and that, okay, it's fine. All right, okay, it's fine. And so that's been a huge lesson for me this year. Another lesson. Now, this might be somewhat controversial, because, well, yeah, so this might be somewhat controversial. And, here at Lash Waves, we're all about like community over competition. And I really believe in that 100%, truly, truly, through and through. However, I don't like a lesson that I learned this year, that community over competition does not mean that you have to keep negative people around you for the sake of quote unquote not competing. Like, if there are people who are bringing you down, who are being negative, who are just like pessimistic, generally unsupportive, passive aggressive, whatever it is, like, it is okay to like give yourself space from that. And that doesn't mean that you're in competition with that person. It just is what it is. Like, you are allowed to protect your peace and your energy, and that doesn't have to mean anything. That doesn't mean you're in competition with someone. It doesn't mean you hate them. Doesn't mean you don't like them, or they're a bad person, or you're better than anybody. It's not a good fit, and I think that that's okay. Um Community over competition doesn't mean that you have to keep negative people in your life. You're allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to be careful about who you bring into your close circle and who you confide in with life things and business things. Like, I think that this kind of ties into really being aware of the people that you spend the most time around, because you become like them. And I've talked about this on the podcast a lot, like the things that you watch, the things you listen to, the things you read, the people that you are around, the energy that you are surrounding yourself with, that all of that affects your day to day so much. It affects your trajectory of hitting your goals. Affects the trajectory of growing your business, of growing as a person, of growing in your motherhood journey. Like, there's so many things that it affects. You have to be so careful about who and what is around you, that you are listening to, that you are taking in, because even the content you're reading on social media creates the narrative of the world around you in your head, right? Like, it really affects the way that you view things. It affects your beliefs. It affects your thoughts. There's so many different things that it affects, and so it's a big deal. And this is something that I'm getting even more intentional about in 2024, because I know that 2024 is going to be such a big year for me and for my family, that I know that I need to be prepared with the capacity to take on that level, that next level for us, because that's going to mean new habits, different habits. That's going to mean, you know, continuing to elevate my thoughts, and continuing to elevate the content that I'm taking in, the beliefs that I have, the people that I'm surrounding myself with, to be able to take on and have the capacity to grow in the ways that I want to grow, and that I know I will be growing next year. And, if you want to do something you've never done before, you have to do things differently than you have in the past. And I think that sometimes that means having different relationships with people that you have previously. And so, I was listening to the Ed Milet show about this, that really good podcast, by the way. I love listening to his show. And one thing that I enjoyed listening to him talk about this year was the people that you have in your life, and the proximity that they have to you, and like the access they have to you, basically. And he basically said, you don't have to cut people out, but maybe they don't have as much proximity to you. They don't have as much access to you as they have in the past. And I love that because that's been something that has been huge for me this year too. I've gone to therapy and gone through therapy for the first time this year, which has been a very long time coming and something I've needed to do for years and have put off for a variety of reasons. But we finally had, insurance that covered it this year, and January 1st hit, I was immediately looking for a provider and like booking it. And anyway, with that, I learned a lot about, evaluating the relationships around me and, deciding, I want to say like deciding who's in my life and who's not, but like in a sense, yes, of just, who I spend my time around, because I do think that this is important. And that if you are wanting to get to the next level, like it's really important to evaluate the types of relationships that you have and the types of content you're taking in. And so for me, this was a big lesson in um I guess looking at people's actions for what they are, and not just listening to people's words, because people can say what they want to say, but I look at actions now. So you can say that you're sorry and you want to be in my life or my kid's life or whatever the situation might be. Like, you can say what you're going to say, but for me at this point in my life, I'm looking at your actions now, because if you really mean that, you're going to change the way that you act to support it. And if you don't, then that tells me you're just all talk and no game, and that's not gonna fly anymore. I've been the type of people pleaser in my life where I just put other people's emotions over my own and be like, "Oh, well, if I don't, if I'm not still nice to them, then that's gonna hurt their feelings, and that's not very nice." And like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so it's okay if they walk all over me again for the millionth time, or it's okay if they do this really hurtful thing or continue to say these terrible things about me or my family. Like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'm just gonna keep them around. But like that, no, that doesn't fly anymore. Okay, that's a huge lesson that I learned this year. And this can be people in your personal life, this can be people in your professional life, business people, like other anything. Okay? Look at their actions and how they treat you. And if that does not align with the standards that you have in your life, like, it's okay to take space. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to reevaluate that relationship and the proximity and the access that they give you, because your peace as a person and as a business owner is so much more important than dealing with their negativity, their toxicity, their pessimism, their energy. Like, you don't need that in your life. And if it doesn't align, then that's okay. Like, I feel like people serve purposes and seasons in your life for a reason, to teach you lessons, to bring you joy, to get you through different parts of your life, to be a support for you to be a support to them. Like, there's so many different reasons why people come in and out of our lives, but I do firmly believe that there's seasons where people are meant to be a part of your life or not. And like, that's okay that people that you might have been close to before, you're not as close to anymore. So that's a big lesson I've learned, just reevaluating the relationships around me. Also reevaluating like I was saying, like the content that you take in, like that really shapes the narrative of how you look at the world and how you look at your business and what you believe is possible for yourself. And especially in the last few weeks, because I've always been tried to be intentional about this and like really focused on this, but the last few weeks especially, I have been muting people on social media. I have been unfollowing people on social media. I've really been cleaning up my circle, cleaning up what I'm viewing online to prepare me for this next level that I will be walking into in 2024. Because I cannot continue to take in things that I don't align with, and then be taking in content and just if it doesn't fill your cup, that's okay. You don't have to follow them. It's okay. You can mute them. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't think you should have to put someone's feelings above your own, and like, if it doesn't align, then that's all right. It just is what it is. Um but yeah, just being very careful about who you're following on social media, the content that you're taking in. I really think that plays um plays a factor in our lives. Even the music that we listen to, I've even been, and this is something that I've thought in the past, just, oh, that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Oh my gosh, it's such a big deal. The music that we listen to, the way it affects our day-to-day moods and like the people that we are, like it is a big deal. You have to be careful about the music that you listen to. And I've been really focusing on listening to music that is more uplifting, that is more encouraging, that makes me feel good, that fills up my cup, that makes me want to get out there and get things done and be the best version of me. Because I notice when I'm listening to music that's like, and there's times where I still need the sad music and stuff, but like breakup songs or depressing music, sad music, like I don't know, like music that just doesn't make me feel uplifted. Yeah, I'm leaving that behind in 2023, 2022 because it just doesn't serve me at this time in my life. And so that would be something that I'd encourage you to do too. Just, really be mindful of that. I think it does make a big difference, even if it's on a subconscious level. So that's a big lesson from this year as well. I think another thing, it's okay, and this is like the last episode, like it's okay to change your mind, it's okay to pivot. If you're feeling that pull, like I think you should go for it, especially if it's a thought that you've had like more than once or like something that you're being indecisive on. Like I think indecision has held me back more than anything almost in my business. I just I don't know, like I can't decide. Oh, I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens. Like I think you just gotta make, and this is still hard for me too, so I'll give you that. But I think you just gotta make a decision sometimes and go for it and see if it works out or not. And then if not, like it's okay to change course. And whether that's with, what you're offering, the services that you're offering, whether that's, shifting your business, pivoting, changing into something new, even, just like little decisions in your business. Like there's so many decisions that we have to make as solo owners. And I think a lot of times we're overthinking them. So that's something that I am working to be better at in 2024 as well, as just, let's just make a decision and go. Like I don't want to be so indecisive anymore. I'm trying to think if there's anything else particularly that I want to share from this year, because like I said, there was so much that happened, so many lessons that I learned. And I'm so thankful for all of these things too, because like I said, I know 2024 is going to be such a big year. And I think all of these things have prepared me for that. And I think that that's part of why we go through ups and downs in life and business, is so that we can learn lessons from it and that we can be prepared to take on the things that we're asking for. Like we want growth, we want, more income, we want more clients, we want this big successful business, but are we the version of ourselves right now that can take all of that on and handle it and have the capacity for it and like do well with it? Because of course I've always wanted a really successful business. I've always wanted everyone's, more clients, more income, more revenue, like more, but I know that the version of me who first set out to do those things and wanted them to happen right away could not have handled them at the time. Like these past versions of me are preparing me to be the version of myself that can take on the increased amount of clients, who can manage the finances better to have more income, that can step up and have good communication with clients and handle the complaints and the issues that arise as you build your clientele and you have more clients, or like manage your schedule better, like the time management skills. Like there's so many things that, and like attributes that are necessary to be able to handle them more and to have the capacity for that. I think the lessons that we learn along the way are very important to be able to get you there. And that just reminded me of another one that I wanted to say too, is just communication. This is a skill all of us can always be working on and getting better with, because I think it is so, so important, whether it's with clients, which is a huge one, like good communication with clients, with other people that we are working with any kind of bosses that we're working with any kinds of educators or vendors, depending on what type of business you're in, particularly, like, you deal with different types of people, and just having good, clear communication, it's so important. If this is something you feel like you struggle with your clients particularly, I do have an entire episode on communication. I think it's one of the first handful of episodes. I want to say it's like episode 5 or something, but don't quote me on that because I don't know if it's episode 5 for sure, but it's one of those ones around there that you can go in and listen to. We go really in depth on it. But communication, it's such an important skill. And, when I did the conference this year online, that was something that I learned, I've really got to be on top of my game for. There were some places where it was like, okay, the communication could have been better in these areas, and that's something I can do better for next year, something that I learned from. But just really, taking a look at that, and even when it's hard conversations, because there are a lot of hard conversations that we like to avoid sometimes, and I don't think that that serves anybody. It doesn't serve yourself, it doesn't serve the other people around you, and it contributes to a lot of the reasons why, like, clients will walk all over us, or clients don't know any better, or clients are coming in with dirty lashes because you haven't taught them how to wash them. You didn't communicate that with them. So there's a lot of things that a lot of areas in which I believe we can improve our communication each and every day. Something I'm continually working on myself. And something that I'm really looking at as I'm going to 2024, especially because I know my business is going to be growing in big ways. And I need to make sure to have the communication skills to match that, to be able to have it be a smoother process. And so I would encourage you to do the same, especially if you have these big goals that you're going for in 2024 and you really know that you're going to be growing a lot, whether that's with clientele, you're going to get a lot more clients, or maybe you're going to have other people working with you, you're going to be working in a salon with other people, you're growing your team, whatever it might be. Like, communication is such a necessary skill. So that was another lesson I learned this year. Like, keep working on that. We're never all going to be like super great at it, and we're all going to have times where we drop the ball with the communication. So let's keep working on it. And yeah, 2023 it's been a wild one. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for all the ways that I've grown, that the podcast has grown. I'm thankful to have you here and wanting to even listen to what I have to say about this year. And I think that it really does say a lot for you to be listening right now, though, because it means that you want to grow, that you have the desire to, you have the want to, you have the drive to grow as a person and as a business owner. And I really commend you for that. I think that that's something that you should be super proud of yourself for, because a lot of people don't. They don't care about that. They're not willing to make those changes. They're not willing to better themselves. They're not willing to learn more and be open-minded to what they could improve on. There's a lot of people who just overlook that, or I don't need to change. I am the way I am, and that's okay. And like, I just really think it says a lot for you to be wanting to continue your education and to learn more and just really be open-minded to changes that you can be making going into the new year. If you haven't already, a lot of people, we all sit down and we write our 2024 goals, but I would also encourage you to do a little audit of your 2023 year and just look at, what went well, what didn't go as well, what can you improve on next year. And you can kind of look at this in different avenues of your business. You can look at it with like your client management. How did that go? You can look at it with your client experience. How did that go? How can I make it better next year? You can look at your marketing. How well did that go? What worked? What didn't work? What can I do better going into next year? Where can I lean into my strengths more going into next year? And kind of just audit these different places in your business, your policies, your service quality, your communication. Like, you can really just reflect on that, and that can help you make a game plan for even just little changes to make into 2024. And that it's the little things. I'm telling you, it's the little things that add up that make a big difference for you. So I would encourage you to sit down and audit your year and just really reflect on the highs and the lows, and give yourself a pat on the back because you made it. You freaking did it. You made it to the end of the year. And you you've done so much. I think you should be so proud of yourself for that. You've learned a lot this year. You've grown a lot this year. And you've really given it your best and your all, and that let's turn up the volume on that next year. Let's keep going. Let's build on that momentum and just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep taking these baby steps every day, because it's that 1% better, that 2% better, that 0.5% better every day that adds up, that you can look back and be like, wow, look how far I've come. And it's because you kept on going, you kept on trying, and you should be really proud of yourself for that. I know I'm really proud of you for that, and I'm thankful to have you here, and thank you for your support of the podcast this year. Like I said, we've really it's grown so much this year. It's literally insane, and just I'm so thankful for it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the show with your friends, with your other lash artist friends, with your esthetician friends, whoever it is in the beauty industry. I'm thankful for you. Thankful for you doing that. If you don't already, come follow me over on Instagram at XOEricaShram. I'll put the link for that in the show notes. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to go grab your Lash Biz Babes online conference ticket for next May. The presale price will be going away very soon, and the price will be going up. And so I want you to be able to get your ticket before then. They're only $99 right now. And you get 2 days of an online conference, tons of giveaways, lots of speakers. It's really going to help you increase your business knowledge, your marketing knowledge, your mindset, your physical, mental, emotional well-being, your financial well-being going into 2024. And it's going to be incredible. I would love to have you there. So $99 presale tickets are going away very soon. Go grab yours. The link is in the show notes. And okay, well, I guess I will see you. I will talk to you again in 2024. I have some really amazing guests lined up. We're just going to hit it heavy going into January. And yeah, big things to come. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your New Year's. I hope you have a fun and a safe holiday, and we'll talk next year.